Type 5 is the instigator. Nope, it is not. Hi, and welcome back to Don't Take It Personal. I am Sarah, and this is the third episode of my series on personality tests. Today we will be talking about the Enneagram, and I'm going to go through things kind of quickly because the Enneagram is a really in-depth area of study. There are experts out there and many books. If you want to learn more, please check out podcasts everywhere. There are so many podcasts on the Enneagram. My favorite is a podcast by Sleeping at Last, where he does a song series for each of the Enneagram types and then does a podcast where he explains it. There's also a lot of books. A really good one is The Sacred Enneagram by Chris Huberts, and it is a lovely piece of work. So, the Enneagram. I got most of my information from the EnneagramInstitute.com, so if you want to learn more, check out there. And the Enneagram is composed of 9 personality types. These personality types are interconnected and interwoven, and they have to do with one another very deeply, which you can see in the image of the Enneagram, which I will try and put on the screen, but I'm not sure if I know how. First, I'm going to go through all of the types of the Enneagram, and then I will take a deeper dive into my type, and then give my kind of review of it. Type 1 in the Enneagram is called the Reformer. They are kind of the perfectionist of the Enneagram. They are idealistic and purposeful. They are driven. They are self-controlled. They are also rational. Type 2 is the Helper. They are caring and they are interpersonal. They are known as demonstrative, people-pleasing, possessive. The third is the Achiever, who is success-oriented and driven. They are pragmatic, adaptive, and tend to be image-conscious. Type 4, which is my type, is the Idealists, who are characterized as sensitive and withdrawn. They are known as expressive, dramatic, self-absorbed, and temperamental. We'll get into that a little bit more later. Type 5 is the Investigator. They are intense and cerebral. They are perceptive, innovative, secretive, and isolated. Type 6 is the Loyalist, who is committed and security-oriented. They are engaging, responsible, anxious, and suspicious. Type 7 is the Enthusiast, who is characterized as busy and fun-loving. They are spontaneous, versatile, distractible, and scattered. Type 8 is the Challenger, who is powerful and dominating. They're characterized as self-confident, decisive, willful, and confrontational. And Type 9 is the Peacemaker. They are easygoing and self-effacing, receptible, reassuring, complacent, receptive, and agreeable. Each of these types has its own little chart that goes along with it. They have a role, an ego fixation, a holy idea, a basic fear, a basic desire. They have a temptation, a vice, a virtue, and they can disintegrate and integrate parts of other types. Now, I am a type 4, the individualist, who is emotional and focused on identity. And here's how my chart kind of breaks down. So my role is the individualist or the romantic. There are often 2 characterized stereotypes for each one within the role. My ego fixation is melancholy. I can often get caught in these kind of sad moods. My holy idea is origin or identity. I want to know who I am, how I came to be who I am, and where I'm from. My basic fear is no identity or significance, that I don't matter, and there's nothing special about me. My basic desire is to be uniquely myself, to know who I am and be able to express that. My temptation is to overuse my imagination to create a dream world and a dream self. My vice is envy. Envy of people who know who they are and what they're doing, or who have relationships that I wish I had. My virtue is emotional balance. When I am stressed and at my worst, I disintegrate into a type 2, and take on those possessive roles that a type 2 can be characterized with. It also makes me a people pleaser. When I am at my best, I integrate type 1 roles, meaning that I am self-confident and I focus really hard and I want to see the good in everything. I love the Enneagram. It's been kind of my obsession lately, and there are a lot of reasons why, but I'll just kind of give one. One of them is that I think there is so much to it. It's so in-depth that you could read and learn on it for hours and hours, and check out some podcasts and some books if you want to learn more. I also think it's really accurate. Reading mine, I immediately was like, yeah, that's me, in not the best way. There are some negatives though. I think it's really complicated, so it's not something for people to get into. With Myers-Briggs, it's kind of easy and it makes sense right off the bat, but with the Enneagram, you have to dig to really understand because there are a lot of stereotypes in it, and each type gets kind of put in a box and people have to act a certain way, and so to really understand the type and the complexity of the types, you have to dig really far. So it's kind of common knowledge that some types get it worse than others and are kind of the like problem child of the Enneagram, and my type is definitely that type. In most of the readings, you see my type is kind of characterized as this diva and very emotional and self-centered and all this stuff. Some people who know the Enneagram and study the Enneagram will say differently, but a lot say some kind of tough stuff and mean stuff about certain types, and types get characterized as either totally bad or like 100% good, and that can be really hard. You have to dig to find the beauty in all types and the flaws in all types. So that is my little short intro into the Enneagram. There is so much more, and I really, really highly suggest that you go and check out some more resources for the Enneagram. Thank you so much for watching, and don't take it personal.